A Russian drone which crashed into a residential building in Romania, leaving 2 people injured, has sparked outrage across Europe. Thousands were left without power after Russia attacked the Odessa region, as Moscow also targeted foreign-flagged vessels in the Black Sea.
A Russian drone struck a residential apartment block in Romania, causing a fire on its roof. The building was evacuated and 2 people sustained minor injuries. The drone was detected by radars and flew in Romanian airspace for around 4 minutes. It had been part of an overnight attack on Ukraine prior to crashing down.
Galați, acum problema este că e un incident destul de grav care a avut, din păcate, ca efect căderea de un bloc de locuințe cu rănirea locatarilor din apartamentul respectiv.
The incident has sparked strong criticism from leaders across Europe, including European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. Also, NATO condemned Russia and said the alliance would strengthen its defenses against all threats.
Ministerul Apărării Naționale menține permanent legătura cu aliații din NATO pentru monitorizarea situației pe flancul estic al NATO. Vom comunica transparent toate concluziile investigațiilor imediat ce acestea vor fi disponibile. Vă mulțumesc!
An investigation is currently ongoing at the scene and the perimeter has been secured, although residents have not yet been allowed to return home.
Two people have been injured after a Russian drone carrying explosives crashed in the eastern city of Galați in Romania, sparking a fire on the roof of a residential apartment block, according to Bucharest. Romania has summoned the Russian ambassador to the headquarters of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and have told Russia that they are not welcome anymore in Romania.
Față de această situație, Consulul General al Federației Ruse la Constanța a fost declarat persoană non grata și Consulatul General al Rusiei, al Federației Ruse la Constanța se va închide.
Romanian Defence Minister Radu Miruța said that the drone was detected by radars and flew in Romanian airspace for around 4 minutes. The explosives on board the drone detonated when it hit the building, Miruța added. The incident has sparked strong criticism from leaders across Europe.
In der Drohnenvorgang in Rumänien die russische Entschlossenheit sieht, diesen Krieg weiter zu eskalieren. Deutschland steht natürlich fest an der Seite der NATO-Verbündeten, zu denen Rumänien gehört.
EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen also said Russia had crossed yet another line. The drone had been involved in the bombing of infrastructure in Ukraine before crashing in Galați, authorities said. An investigation is currently ongoing at the scene.
Russia launched a large-scale attack on the region of Odessa early on Friday, leaving roughly 4,000 people without power in the south of the region. Russian drones also struck 3 commercial ships in the Black Sea which were moving along the Ukrainian maritime corridor. The vessels were sailing under foreign flags. The Izmail port across from Romania's Galați also came under fire from drones early on Friday. That's according to local authorities. A Russian drone that was part of the overnight attack on Ukraine then crashed into a residential building in the eastern Romanian city. Meanwhile, further inland, Russia also launched an attack at Zaporizhzhia, damaging several residential buildings and injuring 1 woman. According to Ukraine's air defense, Russian forces launched 232 drones against Ukraine regions overnight, 217 of which were intercepted.
NATO is conducting military exercises just 30 kilometres from the Finnish-Russian border amid renewed drone incursions within NATO territory. On Friday morning, at least 2 people in the Romanian town of Galați were injured by a drone as Russia attacked Ukrainian infrastructure near the border. It's the most dangerous incident out of several recent encroachments into NATO territory. Baltic countries have reported Russia has hijacked Ukrainian drones, sending them into Baltic and other state territories. Lithuania was forced to close its airspace on a number of occasions, causing major disruption. NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte has vowed to defend every inch of NATO territory, with the US ambassador describing the violation into Romania as reckless.
So while traditional capabilities like battle tanks, Chinook helicopters, armed forces are still vital to protect Europe's eastern flank, particularly as a deterrent against any Russian invasion, exponential growth and investment into counter-drone systems and surveillance are more vital at this moment with ongoing Russian aggression and drone incursions.
I think the big thing there, I think, is having this, kind of autonomous kill web of these different drones and things, all these unmanned capabilities. So one, we're preserving that power. So when we do get attacked, the counterattack that comes from the allies, from NATO, that we have all those humans still able to go to the fight.
Finland retained conscription into the army for young males even after the Cold War ended. Given its 1,350-kilometre border with Russia, it's always been on guard. As the Finns say, the threat from the Kremlin never went away. Having joined NATO in response to Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, Finland says along with allies it's collectively learning from the Ukraine war, including advancements in drone and anti-drone technology.
We have done that alone centuries, but now we are not alone and we have allies, and as we are learning from each other and in developing our interoperability capabilities, then it's really important to have our allies and exercise with them. And we don't have only our conscripts, but we also have our reservists, because reservists is the backbone of the Finnish army. And we are learning and we are adjusting our ways to think, and we're looking really closely how the war is developing as it has changed. How much it changed the battlefield, that's a soldier's task.
Around 10,000 soldiers from 7 allied countries, including the US, UK, France, as well as the Finnish army conscripts, are taking part in the Northern Star and Sword 26 exercises. Shona Murray, Euronews, Finland.
US and Iranian negotiators have reached a tentative framework agreement to extend the Iran's war's ceasefire by 60 days and launch negotiations on Iran's nuclear program towards a final deal. The tentative framework agreement was confirmed by Vice President J.D. Vance late Thursday, but Vance said it was unclear if President Donald Trump would approve of it.
Part of what we're trying to do here is really set the stage for a successful negotiation. There are certain details that are going to have to be figured out that are going to take a little bit of time to figure out. So there are a lot of details to work out, but what I mean is I think we're making progress. We're getting to a point where we could potentially sit down and settle these issues, but that requires us to make a little bit more progress. I can't guarantee that we're going to get there, but right now I feel pretty good about it.
The emerging memorandum of understanding came as the fragile ceasefire in the war appeared to be wavering following renewed exchange of fire between both sides this week. According to reports, a finalized deal would also include a reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, whose months-long closure by Tehran has led to a push-up in energy prices and disruption of global supply chains.
Russian drone incursions into EU airspace are not mistakes, they are provocations. Deputy Minister at the Ministry of Development and Technology, Michal Baranovsky, told Euronews. A Russian drone hit a residential building in NATO member Romania last night, injuring 2 people. It was part of an overnight attack on Ukraine.
It's extremely serious. It's really hard to overstate how much of an escalation this is. This is another drone attack. Let's remember that now people have been injured in Romania. In September, about 20 drones have crossed into Polish space. These are not mistakes. These are provocations.
European Commission's President Ursula von der Leyen said Russia's war of aggression has crossed yet another line. She stressed the EU will keep strengthening its security and deterrence, especially on the eastern border.
We have very clear situation who is the aggressor here. It's of course up to Romanian government to decide whether or not activate Article 4 of NATO that allows for us to have a consultation.
Dozens of drone incursions were detected in Romania since Russia's 2022 full-scale invasion of Ukraine, but it was the first time one hit a residential building.
Italian authorities have seized more than 200 million euros in assets linked to the late mafia boss Matteo Messina Denaro's drug trafficking network. The seizure included more than 12 kilos in gold, millions in cash, premium watches and some 20 luxury properties, investigators said. Prosecutors described Thursday as a blow to the Sicilian mafia's attempt to rebuild its financial power.
Significa appunto di continuare in un processo di disarticolazione necessario per impedire la formazione di strutture nuovamente in grado di proiettare su scala globale l'intera forza intimidatrice, l'intera capacità di condizionamento economico e sociale che è propria di Cosa Nostra.
Messina Denaro died in a prison hospital some 9 months after he was arrested in January 2023, ending 3 decades as a fugitive. More than 150 Italian financial police officers carried out searches in Italy and abroad, including in Andorra, Gibraltar, the Cayman Islands, Switzerland, Lebanon, Monaco and Spain.